Yep.
And that
More from our international
leads me
friends.
to, along with the creation of that, I met Diana in Women of Workrooms, which oddly led me to Engage, which led to Africa VR. Could you talk a little bit about that project and your connection to it?
Yeah. It's just one of the great stories in my life, and it also says something about the way that social VR really brings the world together and can create really intimate relationships. I actually met Paul at the in 2020. We were having a meeting just where people could come and talk about it and just say their feelings. We're going to get their feelings out. And Paul, who lives in outside of Nairobi, Kenya, by the way, for anyone listening, his name is Wayaki Wahinga, also Paul Simon, and several other variants depending on.
It's a fantastic individual.
He sure is. He just strode right into this little sort of town hall meeting that we were having in VR, in AltSpace, and said, "I'm from Africa and I want a seat at the table." And I was moderating the meeting. I do a lot of this kind of hosting. I love that. And I said, "Well, you are here. Go for it. Speak away." And he's, started talking about how violence between law enforcement and citizens was a problem, where he is too, and gave some specific examples, and then said he wanted to have an event that he could host on it too, and inform people about it. And he did. That was the issue that connected us deeply. I mean, as soon as we met, we just hit it off. He got his Zoom and took me with a camera into his house and met Diana and met Israel, his son, and it was one of those special bonding sort of things. And he's a long time grassroots help other people sort of person. He's had a charity in Nairobi for a long time called Boston. It helps families with children in need. When VR came, it also just hit him. He's always been a technology-oriented guy, and he just realized this was the tool he'd been looking for, to be able to give young people in Africa a platform where they could learn how to present themselves, how to set up meetings, how to present their lives, tell their stories around the world to the metaverse. That was always his goal. And now he's been doing that. He calls his organization Africa VR Campus and Center. And he has a cohort mostly of young women now. Each one of their stories is unbelievable. It's
unbelievable.
He's not an NGO funded thing associated with an established institution or something like that.
I've learned so much in the short time I've been engaging with Africa VR.
Yeah.
But I noticed your name and your photo is always prevalent in the space when I come in.
Yeah, I was an early supporter. I'm on the board. I should also have said they're high school age or just past high school age now, and they really have metaverse skills. It gets back to the book again. I mean, to you and I, the metaverse is a palpable living thing where we have friends. I wake up in the morning and I think about my friends, and I think about Paul.
Absolutely,
he's as real to me as someone who lives in my town here. And the young women, I've gotten to know some of them. Some of them have been with this program for 2 years now, and I've met with them in VR locations and hung out with them. They met with me on my birthday and sang happy birthday to me. Holy smokes, you need windshield wipers on your headset for that, man.
The friends you make in your headset, your virtual lifestyle, really does count as some solid friendships, because they are as consistent and present in your life as the people that you may lay eyes on or lay hands on, encounter in your day-to-day life. At least that's the way it was for me.
Yeah. Well, right now in the present moment, Africa is the future. Africa is the youngest continent by far. Africa is immense. People don't quite get this. Africa is bigger than North America and South America and the Europe part of Eurasia all put together. That's how big Africa is. But its age demographic, and also for the way it's been exploited, it still has unbelievable amounts of commodities that are important and valuable. So there's a new scramble for Africa going on, obviously, and our hope is that Africa gets to take advantage of that African stuff. That 80% of the value of what comes in Africa doesn't get ripped off by re-exporters and retailers and whatnot. And it's really empowering young people for the future that you and I are a little bit disappointed that it hasn't shown up sooner than it has, but it's going to happen. It just is.
It's going to happen.
You know?
And you hear the determination from each of the young girls as they talk about the impact of having that technology at their disposal and how they want to maximize it in the future. I thank you so much for highlighting those spaces because they've made a huge impact on me. And I encourage people, if you should ever find yourself with an opportunity to visit any of these spaces, please do so.
You guys are awesome. I can't say that enough. You guys are just awesome.